We're floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. Hi, welcome to the Wingmen Show. My name is Drew Brown. We hope to inspire, entertain, and learn something so we can all make this world a better place for our children. I'd like to introduce to you somebody who's my friend, my wingman, my main man, and I have a wingman watching my back, Dr. Paul Thompson. Hey, Paul, what's happening?
Oh, not much. Hello, everyone. I'm Paul Thompson, and you just heard from Mr. Drew Brown, Dark Gable. He's the American dream. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the pilot's pilot, the role model's role model, and most importantly, his royal fullness. How are you doing today, Mr. Dark Gable?
I'm doing great, and I'm glad I'm full of knowledge, Paul. I'm glad I'm full of knowledge. Well, we're going to have a great show right now. Check this out. Good morning, Dr. Paul. How are you this fine day, my brother?
Good morning to you. I am fine today. It's not sunny, but the sun will be out, and I'll be outside after this doing some yard work. How are you?
I'm good. Come over to my house, do some yard work, too. I woke up late this morning, actually, and I'm all kind of dysfunctional because I guess as you get older, you have a set schedule and everything, has to sit in its proper form. And it's not sitting in its proper form early this morning. So here I am, but I'm excited about doing this show. And I want to welcome all of our old listeners. First of all, thank you so much for supporting us. And any new people that are listening, I want to welcome you and thank you so much for listening to the Wingmen Show. We also have a webpage, wingmenshow.com, where you can get all of these episodes. And I'd also like to say, if you can please give us a review on Apple Podcasts, we would surely appreciate it, wouldn't we, Dr. Paul?
Yes, that'd be good. Any good information will help us. And please pass this on to your friends and relatives, co-workers, people you like, even people you don't like. It might help them.
That's true. Well, let's start this puppy off because I'll tell you something. I really went through a whole thing this week about our show and about what we're trying, our objective and what we're trying to do here. And with all these mass shootings and this horror, the other week, I actually sat and watched my television with my mouth open when they talked about the last murder and all the mass shootings and everything. And you know what? This show is not about that. Every damn show in the world can talk about bad stuff. And it's easy. All you got to do is pick up a paper and start reading, and you got a news show. We don't want to do that. If there's something bad that happened, we want to take a different approach. Look, we're two black men who made it. Okay, we're two black men who went to college, and this is not because we're black. I'm just telling you, we don't have excuses for not being able to be successful. And what we are doing here is trying to pass that along to other people because somebody passed it along to us. There's a reason why we're successful, and there's a reason why we do this show. And all these murders and killings and everything, we're an alternative to that. There are good people out there, except the good people don't usually get a lot of notoriety. The colleges are full. Our black universities they have a lot of kids in there, a lot of young people in there, I should say, who are going to make it. So this world is working. I'm sorry to say the bad news has taken over, but not the Wingman Show. We're not going to do that. We're going to talk about helping other people, Dr. Paul.
Yeah, we got to, stay on a positive note, stay on an uplift because everything is so depressing. And, you said something that it shows your age. You said you can pick up a paper. Who picks up a paper? Where do you find a paper? I mean, I just picked that up. I don't know if I could find one now. But, now I'd say it's worse. You get more stuff. You get too much information. And you're bombarded with a lot of negative stuff. So even if you don't look at it, you're probably around people that do. So that can infect you.
And easy. What the problem is that it's easy to do a bad story.
Yes.
Because the bad story is the shock. That's the news and everything. It's hard to do what we're going to do. And that's dig in a little bit deeper to our social issues, to things that can make us happy, things that will provide us with a better life.
Yeah. A lot of things happen. Good things happen quietly. And that's going to take us into our Wingman of the Week this week. Yeah. A lot of things are done very quietly by people that you don't even know exist.
Did they seize your 350-foot yacht in Fiji this week?
They did. $350.
How much does it cost you to keep that puppy up?
It's about $25 million a year.
A year?
A year. Yeah, I'm a little bit behind. I was only able to give him $2 million a month, so I still owe $1 million. I only gave him 24.
Well, everybody, that's what a Russian oligarch's yacht just got lifted by, I guess, Americans. We took it, but it's a 350-foot yacht called the Amadea, and it costs $25 million a year just to keep up. And Dr. Paul and I were talking, but if we had that kind of money, I love those big ships, but I don't want all them people around me. You must have 100 people on that ship just working all the time for you, and I don't want all that.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. I was wondering, does that include the pay for the crew, or that's just the equipment? Because there's a lot of environmental systems. The fuel has to be done. The engines have to be taken care of. Compared to an aircraft carrier, probably not that much money.
No, pretty cheap.
Yeah, the average aircraft carrier, I think, costs about $13 billion to build, but to maintain it with the air wing on it, it's about $2 billion.
Woo, baby!
I think it's about $2 billion per year. What's that?
Well, that's not bad for the government because they print money.
That's right.
Talking about printing money, do you see these gas prices? They're going through the roof. But that's not the funny part, Dr. Paul. The gas companies' profits are up, I think, double right. To triple. That means they're making more money by charging us more.
Yeah, they're kind of killing the economy too. They're stimulating and killing it too. Because I was just at your favorite place, Costco. Got a little bit of gas. I keep my cars kind of near the full area, mainly because it doesn't bother me when I get gas, because I'm just getting a little bit. It's not $500 a shot, but it's up there now. It's up there. Even Costco gas is higher. And I wonder if they're going to impose wage and price control. That hasn't been done from like the Gerald Ford or Richard Nixon did that when inflation was really, really bad, to keep people from getting ripped off too much. But it's almost like, we're going to raise the prices because we can, and that's it.
That's what's happening. And that's what's happening all over. And they're not going to go back down.
Right.
Inflation, if you stop inflation, it just stops where it is. Yeah. So that means going in your ashtray for some change and filling up, give me $2 on pump number 6, ain't happening no more.
Right, dude. That's not even a deposit. But that hurts everything else, because what else? What comes by truck? Everything you get comes by truck some way. Everything
Airline
by truck.
Prices to fly to airlines, it's up 30, 40, and 50% on tickets right now.
I hear that. I haven't been anywhere.
So, part of the show, listen, Dr. Paul, and this is real important. You and I, yes, we don't like paying the extra money, but it's not killing us. And we're not going to be in the poorhouse because of it. And that's what this show's about, to try to get people to where we are right now, how you get educated, how you get a good job, a good profession, something you love to do, something you work hard at, something that you wake up every day. I was thinking about this. We were airline pilots. We are Navy pilots. We woke up every day loving doing what we do. And there are so many people who make money. Every morning they wake up, it sucks.
They're miserable.
That's no way to live. That's no way to live. A good spin on this murder thing that's happening in this country by young people and old people and everybody is that we have something real good news. 988. Remember that. 988. It's going to be a national number, just like 911, when you can call suicide, drugs, any problems, financial, any social problems you have, you can call this number. They'll talk to you and send you to the right people.
Oh, that's great. That's great.
That's a great thing, Dr. Paul.
That's needed now more than ever, because you talk about the mass shootings. You typically think about crime in the major cities, typically, New York, Chicago, but actually you've got a high rise in crime in rural areas too, that no one talks about. What you call them podunk cities, podunk places. There are lots of them, and they're rising up in the urban areas, in the Pacific Northwest. Every state has got a major uptick in crime with a population of like nothing. So something's going on in the society in general. And
you look at our music, and I swear I'm sounding like my parents, so maybe they were right. When I keep saying that, I'm going to start saying, you know what, maybe they were right. But the music, the words in the music, and I love rap music, and we talked about this, but they've gone to the bottom with the words, the absolute bottom. Our society is not showing family anymore. Our society doesn't show how friends are important, how people you love. And, all our songs, we're having to love, peace, happiness. I love you. I want to do something for you. That's all gone. That's all gone. Yeah. But guess what? It'll come back because I believe that music stays around. The music that they're hitting on now, some of them funky beats, they're good, but they're not everlasting music. Right. Them Temptations, forever.
You still listen to it. Yeah, 50 years from now, they'll still be listening to it.
You realize how lucky we were, Dr. Paul. Now, I'm going to brag. Our age group, we had everything from the Beatles to James Brown that came out every freaking week. I remember going to them record store. Remember the record store with the 45 records?
Yeah,
okay. Every
33.
Week.
Yeah.
Yes. The new James Brown, the new Temptations, the new Four Top. Then Earth, Wind, and Fire came. I mean, we were indulged with so much music.
Yeah, a lot of music.
Good music.
Yeah, and all about the same period of time. I mean, a 2 years here, 2 years there. Someone new comes, and the old people are still doing really well. It's just expanding. It's just expanding.
And what's happening is that old music stays. If it's good, it stays.
It stays.
You know what?
You still hear it. I mean, you hear it at halftime in the NBA finals, whatever. They'll play a little something. This is Marvin Gaye.
Yeah.
He died in 1984. It's.
But they are playing some rap too. They're keeping up to date with that. I know you don't keep up with that, but they're popping with some rap. The NBA finals are on now. Don't tell me anything about it. Because, first of all, I can't stay up that late to watch basketball anymore. I can't stay up that late to watch anything. So what I do is I watch the first half one day. I don't listen to any Sports Center or anything else the next day. And then I watch the second half the next day, and I get 2 games.
Okay. Well, I won't tell you anything. I'll be quiet.
Please don't. Please don't tell me anything. Okay. How about this one? As you and I are big on fitness, big on health. And that's because I want to live a long time. I'm 67 now, so I'm saying I got 33 more years. I'm not going to die at 100, but anything over that's bonus. That's how I'm going for this. So I just found out this thing called Sacopenia. It's muscle loss as you get older. As I'm working out, I'm starting to think, am I getting weaker and weaker? And the answer is yes. As you get older, you produce fat inside your muscles if you stop using them. And everybody who doesn't know what atrophy is, it's like whenever you go in the hospital and you have maybe a broken arm, but you haven't moved any of your other muscles for 3 weeks, they all kind of shrink and you have to start using them again. So Sacopenia, my Peloton people are keeping me from this disease because I work out with them. They invigorate me. And I'll tell you something about Peloton or any other kind of workout program. It's not the easy reps that help you. It's the ones you don't like that actually get you stronger. And by being an athlete, I knew this. It's not in the beginning, those first 5 pumps that you give it.
This is the last 5.
That's just warming up your muscles. It's the one that you can't do at the end. That's where you start getting all your strength. So if you're a little bit older, walking ain't going to do it no more. And I was telling people, that's, I guess, if you're 500 pounds, start walking. That's great. Yes. But walking's not going to do it anymore. And as I learn, I want to teach. So we need to get into weights. My friend Cubby told me that a long time ago because I was telling him I was doing this, Peloton, this, that. He said, are you lifting weights? So now I'm lifting weights in my regimen. You've been doing this all the whole time, Dr. Paul.
I do a variety of things. I mean, I get a set of kettlebells, which are big, giant cannonballs, basically. They're different weights. You can get them from 1 pound to 100 pounds. Get what you
kettlebells,
want.
Yes.
Yeah,
kettlebells. And you can go online and get all those exercises.
Yeah, you get all the stuff. And a lot of times I do a lot of body weight stuff. I use the kettlebells every once in a while, little light weights. I just work out in my garage, turn on some music. I got an external speaker. That helps. That's when I listen to the show.
Yeah.
That helps a lot.
You have to jam while you work out.
Yeah, and you've got to do something. And I do hard stuff. I start doing these Mike Tyson push-ups, which are very challenging. They look simple. They're not.
But think about this, Dr. Paul. You ever see? I don't want to talk about Herschel Walker's political thing at all. But have you ever seen his body? He doesn't lift any weights. All
You're right. Yeah, that's the first natural kind of bodybuilder I'd ever heard. Just did calisthenics.
Well, boxers. If you ever saw Ali's body, look, the champ had the best body I've ever seen as a fighter. Not one weight.
No weights.
Not one weight.
That stuff slows him down.
Yes. So I'm just saying it's not weights, it's using your muscles.
Yeah,
your muscles. And I hope everybody out there, and eating right. You can't work out good and eat like shit.
Yeah.
It doesn't go together.
Yeah. If you do push-ups and squats just on your own, push-ups and squats, break a sweat 3 times a week and eat reasonably well, you'll do fine.
Sit-ups and one more if you can start doing pull-ups.
Yes.
There's your full body workout right there.
Yes,
I'm not that strong on pull-ups, but I use a band and that gives me some extra leverage. So not extra leverage, it helps me pull myself up. So I do that. Did you know in New Jersey, marijuana is legal and they're making millions from it? They just opened up recreational marijuana in New Jersey. New York, it's legal. Connecticut, it's legal, but I don't think you can buy it yet. So all these people are running to New Jersey to buy weed. And financially, let me tell you something, Dr. Paul, this might be a good time to invest in cannabis because I believe eventually it's going to be it'll be legal nationally.
Yeah, I think so too, because it seems like state after state.
State after state. Well, it's income also.
Yeah.
It's income for schools. It's income for the things that we're talking about, mental health. There's a lot of state income with marijuana sales. And I'll tell you what, I'd rather people smoke weed than drink whiskey. I'm saying it and I mean it. I'm saying it and I mean it. I know about alcohol poisoning, but I never heard about marijuana poisoning. So, if you have to do something, I'd rather it be marijuana than alcohol. And that might be from experience. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think that works too well if you want to do certain occupations, if you want to fly or drive a truck.
Well, you can't do any of it.
Yeah,
well, if you fly, you get high up there, Dr. Paul.
Yeah.
When we were flying off that aircraft carrier, going 450 miles an hour, 50 feet from the ground, okay, with weapons, you're high. Every time you got shot off that aircraft carrier at night, bam, I was toasted. So it's not about not getting high. It's about what you use to get high.
A natural high, not something that's going to kill you and the other person on the other side of the road. That's
correct. I always say, like my daughter, she's a lawyer. So when she gets a case or when she gets something to do and they win at it and she makes money, she's high. My son, when he operates on your spine and he makes you walk, he's high. And especially when he gets paid too, he's high. So you can get high. You don't need to use drugs to do it. You just don't need to. So Apple has a new iOS system coming out. And I am an Apple nut, first of all. How many people you think have gotten in trouble texting something that they didn't mean to text? Well, now Apple's going to allow you to erase it. That, and they're going to be able to use that camera, because it's a great camera, as a webcam. And actually, Dr. Paul, maybe you and I will, when it comes out, maybe you and I will try that Apple webcam for our show.
Yeah, see how it compares to what we got. Maybe better.
We're using it. What about that texting?
Yeah, I don't do a whole lot of texting. Well, I haven't insulted anybody or pissed off anybody texting. I don't do too much of that stuff. Yeah, no one's gotten mad at me unless I just said something to you. So I don't get in much trouble.
Well, texting is not my number one form of communication.
Yeah.
And when people text me and expect me to immediately answer, it pisses me off.
It depends on what it is. Mostly it's shopping list, and I'm just using one finger, so I don't really.
My daughter taught me how to text a long time ago because I want an answer. When I say something, I'd like a little answer back. And that's not really happening on texting and everything. And, talking about, we were talking about lifting weights and doing well, physically. The prevention of Parkinson's, guess what I found out? Because dopamine in your brain, and we're talking about getting you high, that's what makes you feel high, your dopamine. So guess what? If you help people as you get older, it releases more dopamine. In other words, in order to be happy and have fun, help others. And as you get older, that is what will give you dopamine. What about that?
Oh, that's good. That's good. So basically, you're saying that
Helping others makes you happy.
okay, makes you happy and helps your other body systems.
That's correct. That's correct. So, if we all look around each other and we see somebody, and it also makes you feel good. And I guess that's the dopamine part. But it does prevent Parkinson's. And that's the part that I want to talk about. I want to talk about people who are getting older, who are looking to get older, and how to prevent some of the illnesses that we weren't able to prevent before. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So climate change. This climate change is going to hit us in our ass this summer.
It is. It's already.
It's going to be 102 here next week. So if it's 102 here, what is it in Vegas? What is it in Arizona? People are starting to die now from heat. Now, I said Vegas and Arizona. I didn't say India. I didn't say Africa. I didn't say Egypt, where now we're talking about hundreds of people dying because of this heat. And here in America, we don't have enough power to keep all these air conditioners running like this. So the power grid might not stay together. But more than that, it's going to cost almost 233% more for some people for electricity this year.
That's a lot.
How about that one?
That's a lot. Do you remember the blackouts in New York?
I remember the big one, yes.
I remember the big one too.
I know, where John F. Kennedy was assassinated, when Martin Luther King, God bless it, was assassinated. You know where you were at those times? Yes. I can remember that big blackout, sitting in the projects on the 11th floor. My apartment was 11F, 60 East, 102nd Street. My mother and I were sitting in the kitchen, and boom, it all went out.
Yeah, it was like a science fiction movie without the monsters.
Yep. Remember they were walking across the bridges in New York?
Yeah.
Oh, it was weird.
The day the earth stood still. It was real weird. It was quiet. People didn't know.
Well, you know what? If we keep messing with this energy, the day that earth stood still might happen again. And I think that's why we need to go to solar. Let's get back to financing. This is the things that if you want to, I believe, this is my opinion, that the new way to make money in investing is going to be green. It's going to be cannabis. It's going to be solar power. It's going to be things that are coming up in the future. That's how you invest. You get in now when it pays later. You agree? Because my money came from Apple. I invested in Apple when I first fell in love with it long, long time ago.
Hey, you were like Forrest Gump, investing in that fruit company.
Yes. I love me some Apple.
Yeah. Apple's done really, really well.
And really, you know why we love Apple also? Not that it's just a great system. The customer service was one of the best ever.
Yeah.
Ever. You call them, it was like they were your friend.
Yeah, I've never had any problem with Apple. In fact, they helped me out with a number of problems with old equipment that I had and resolved every one of them. Even the old equipment works better.
I remember walking out to a DC-10 with a captain. My Apple was getting old, and I was thinking about getting something new, but everybody's talking about Windows and Microsoft and this and that. And I asked this captain, what's the difference between Apple and IBM? And he said, well, look at this DC-10. See the cockpit? Well, you could fill all the software for Apple in that cockpit. But the rest of the plane, you can fill the rest of the plane with software from IBM. So Windows and things like that. So I picked it. I did it for a little while, and I'm so happy I'm back with Apple.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, once you start Apple, it's hard to go back. I haven't been on a regular PC for years. It's just the Apple, right out of the box. Stuff just works.
Well, I made a couple dollars on Apple, but I didn't make as much money as LeBron. LeBron is now a billionaire. LeBron James has just joined the billionaire club. Tiger Woods is in the billionaire club or just came back to it. I think he was in, fell out, and now he's back in. But I wanted to talk about LeBron James because I use him a lot. Now, he's not a role model for basketball. And the reason I say that is because you can hang with LeBron James for the rest of your life, do every exercise, eat everything he eats, and you won't ever play like him. Role models have to be attainable. Like you and I, we can teach you how to fly.
Reasonable, yes.
Okay, a doctor can show you how to go to med school. You can study to be certain things that are actually attainable. LeBron James the greatness of him is not his talent, it's his work ethic.
Mm-hmm.
He took that talent and he worked it, just like Michael Jordan did, just like anybody, Larry Bird, all of the great ones. They worked that talent into something special. There's a lot of dudes I went to school with that were very talented, and they're drinking beer now, or not even here now, because they didn't do anything with that talent.
Yes.
So when I see young people, I saw a guy who just delivered an Amazon package to me. I sat and talked to him for a while, and I looked right at him and I said, look, young brother, you are LeBron James in something. We just got to find out what it is. Because when you find out what it is and you work at it, you'll make money. You'll be happy. The idea is to wake up, love doing what you do, not wake up and make money hating every day that you're making it. So LeBron James is a real role model to me for work ethic. And you know what? The boy, you haven't even heard him getting a speeding ticket. He is quite an example of a man that I look up to. He is one great one. Matter of fact, my son loves LeBron and his game and just everything about him so much that he said, Dad, if you ever meet him, please don't introduce him to me. You know, because when you get to meet your idol, he just becomes real and he's not.
Yeah, he just becomes a human being, you know.
What do you think about LeBron and being a billionaire?
Well, it's good. You know, you talked earlier about giving to other people and improving your health and feeling better. Well, he did that with his I Promise Academy, or the I Promise School. The I Promise School. We covered that before. So he's got a school. He's doing other things. Most of his billions, if you look at it, only about a third of it comes from basketball.
Yeah.
Most of it comes from other things, side things. This gets into what you're talking about, investing. He's obviously doing that with the film company, and there's a pizza chain and something like that, which, you know, is our pizza's healthy? No, but they're good every once in a while. You know, they're involved in a lot of things, as Kobe Bryant was too. I think he was on his way there also in the film industry. So the thing is to keep yourself moving, invest in other things that you know about, things you like, maybe things you want to learn about, and you can do well. If you've got that kind of money to start with, you're going to get a lot of friends and folks will approach you with different things. The good thing about him is that he obviously didn't blow it on women and drugs and the typical things that I hear that
a lot of young people
guys
have a lot of money. Dr. Paul, when you're young, 17, 18, and you get a couple of $1 million, it's not easy. It's not easy. God forbid I had it, because I don't know if I'd be doing the show right now.
You'd be going, well, look at all the guys at some of the former Celtics, you know, made $300, $200, $300, $400 million and end up broke at the ripe old age of like 37, 38.
Wow.
He goes through $40 million, or boxers. It can happen. You know, it can happen.
Well,
So,
God bless you, LeBron. I really do think that everybody has a LeBron talent in them somewhere, not for basketball, for something. And I truly believe each one of us, if you work at that talent and work real hard at it, you'll become great at it. Yeah. And anytime you become good at something, people will want you to do it for them. So if you're the best electrical engineer in the world, you'll always have a job. If you're the best architect in the world, you'll always have a job. If you have a skill, you'll always have a job. So gas prices will hurt, but they won't kill you.
Exactly.
All right, Dr. Paul, we have a good wingman, chopper. Somebody
Yes.
that you know, somebody that I look up to. Can you tell me our wingman story today?
Yeah, well, you may think I'm making this up, but this wingman story, this wingman goes into what you just said. Really half of what you've been saying the last 25 minutes. Wingman this week is a Mr. Archie Mitchell Jr. Known Archie Mitchell Jr. from the 1970s, a fine guy. And again, sometimes you can make a big impact in life and on people's lives and not make a lot of noise. This gets into what you were talking about before, with people who are doing in colleges, doing a lot of stuff. They're full. They're doing a lot of stuff. They'll do very, very well. But again, they may not be noticed. And he's like that too. Archie has been one that's, he was a naval aviator, helicopter pilot. He's also a movie star to me. He's the only movie star that I know. You might have seen him in one of the movies. But his emphasis has been on education the whole time. Before I met Drew Brown, Dark Gable, The American Dream, he's got not one, not two, not three, not 4 degrees. He's got 5 degrees.
Wow.
He's got the first one is a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering, and the next 4 master's degrees. I'm not making it up. I'll read them off to you. BS in Mechanical Engineering, 1976. Got an MBA in Finance, 1986. Got an MA, this is Master of Arts in International Relations, 1990. He's got an MS, Master of Science in Strategic Planning, 1991, and an MS in Resource Management in the year 2000. So, okay, let's look at that for a second. Now, we're the same age. 1976 to the year 2000, that's 24 years. Did he have to do all those other things? Probably not. But he did. And after that, he got out, the Navy. He was a squadron commander. I remember going to his change of command when we took over a helicopter squadron in North Island in San Diego, California. In fact, my whole family was there. And, we had mutual friends who were there. It was a big family thing. It was great. And it seemed like just yesterday, but he's a CO of a squadron. I said, wow, somebody I know, because we used to live together. I lived with him. When he got his wings, he lived with me in an apartment for seven months or so. Then he bought a house and I moved in with him. I paid him rent. I was a renter. Try not to, he didn't evict me, pretty much paid on time. But he did a lot of things, stayed in the Navy 26 years. He retired as a Navy captain. And after that, he became basically a civilian contractor. He worked with 3 companies, for 10 years or so. And he's retired now. He's comfortable. He likes his life. You might have seen him in a movie called Apollo 13. He's at the very end. He does the helicopter flying scenes at the end of the movie.
Wow, that's amazing.
He talked about that. And he's actually in the movie for about 2.5 seconds at the very end.
And your famous people, Dr. Paul.
He's a famous guy. A tremendous guy. Always, he was one that would always kind of challenge you, made you think. A very, very, very lively person, and really never gave up, and was always a hard charger. And he wrote down something, because I told him yesterday. I said, "We're going to make you the wingman. Do you have anything special you want to say?" And he sent me something. I'm going to read it to you. And so see if this sounds familiar.
Okay.
Cool. You can do and accomplish whatever you put your mind to, even when the odds are against you. My philosophy has always been, there will always be someone smarter, there will always be someone with more talent, and there will always be someone better looking. But they need to bring a lunch, because they will never outwork me, quote unquote.
Wow. I was going to do a PSA, but I think that was our PSA.
That is the PSA.
This
is from someone you don't know.
That's incredible. Dr. Paul, great story, great wingman, great show. Love you, man. And I pray for peace. And everybody out there, please listen to us on Apple, on Spotify. Go to our website, wingmenshow.com. Or send us a nice review on Apple Podcasts, or watch us on YouTube, because Dr. Paul is really a good-looking dude.
Oh, there. Yeah, I'm a legend in my own mind. Please like us on YouTube, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you once again, Dr. Paul Thompson, my friend. Thank you for your love, your time, and that's something that we won't ever get back. I want to thank all the listeners, too. Thank you so much for doing the show, Dr. Paul. We're jamming.
Well, thank you, Mr. Drew, for inviting me on. Always good to talk to you. And ladies and gentlemen, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to this podcast or any of the podcasts. If you're looking at YouTube, they say smash the like button. Don't smash it. Just press it gently and use as a link to all your friends. You can also look at us on our website, wingmenshow.com, WINGMEN show, SHOW.com, altogether, wingmenshow.com. And we hope to see you in the future. Thanks again, Mr. Drew.
Oh, you're welcome. And we're still floating like butterflies and stinging like bees. Rumble, you badass jet pilots, rumble. May there be peace on earth, and goodwill towards all men and women.